So you're on the fence about buying a Skylight calendar, or you have one and you're looking for some ideas of how to use it, especially as a homeschool family where your kids are home all the time. Well, today I'm going to be sharing how we use ours in our family and giving you some tips. Hi, I'm Sarah, mom of 4, ages 7 months to 10 years old. I'm a homeschooling mom. I run multiple businesses and work in various different ways. And I am in love with our Skylight calendar, and it has been so beneficial to our family. I've had it for about 4 months now, and I cannot wait to share with you how we use it. So let's jump in. So I ended up buying our Skylight calendar as my own birthday present this May/June, and I've absolutely loved it. I saw results from using it immediately. I actually couldn't believe how well it worked for my kids. And I can't wait to share with you guys how we have it set up after using it for a few months. I was definitely on the fence, not even on the fence. I was like nowhere near the fence for quite a few months. One of my friends who lives a bit away from us, who I don't get to see very often, was telling me she bought one, and I'm like, I can't believe you're gonna spend that much on a calendar, but whatever works for you. She has older kids than mine, so I thought maybe, you know, in her stage of life it would be more beneficial. And her kids are in school and she works outside the home now, and so I was like, maybe it just works well for her. But then I went to my friend's house who does homeschool, and I actually saw it and saw how she was using it for like 5 minutes, and immediately I was like, I see the light. I'm on the fence. I'm jumping off the fence onto the website, ready to buy it. So I did. And so I've loved it. It works even better than I thought. Now, I am a planner by nature. I don't use this a lot for my own planning, but I do use the calendar and the app for my husband because we were using Time Tree, but now it just makes sense to have it all on the Skylight so my kids can see what's coming up. My husband, when he's at work and like scheduling things, can see what's coming up on the calendar. But the rest we mainly use for our children. And so I've loved it. It's amazing. Do you need it? Absolutely not. But I have found my kids are so much more eager to help around the house and are way better at making sure they do certain things at certain times of day because it's all right here. And it's just really easy because I just plug it in on my phone and we're good to go. And there's some other features I really love, and I'm going to be sharing how we use it, but also some tips that we don't use but could help you, if that makes sense. So let's dive in. Okay, for those of you new to Skylight, I'm just gonna give a really quick overview. I pay for the yearly membership, so we have photos and the meals and the Sidekick, where you can send a picture and send it to your Skylight. You can learn more about that on their website. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time, but I love having the pictures here. We just send photos to our Skylight. My husband's constantly making AI anime versions of our family and just randomly sending it here, so the girls will see it randomly and be like, oh, we look so funny and whatnot, and it's just fun to update with photos. I've seen a lot of people do, like for homeschool, their schedule or their plan for the day, or they do like their composer study or their picture study, the different, you know, riches on here, which you definitely can do. We don't keep this here. It's actually in our kitchen, so I don't use it that way because it's not in our main homeschool space. But we do a lot of photos. You can actually add videos and there's sound as well if you want that. But yeah, we just add a bunch of family photos, sweet photos of our family. And then when it comes to the actual calendar, I have the 15-inch, I believe it is. So you can sync it to other calendars, like your Google Calendar. We don't do that, and it wouldn't link to Time Tree, at least when we got it. So we just migrated over to the Skylight calendar. But basically you can go to any day and it'll tell you what's going on that day, and each person is a different color. So that's really cool. And then like if a bunch of people are doing it, it shows it like that, which I think is really cool. So you can assign different colors to different people in your family. I'll go through how we use this in a second. There's also tasks, which is my favorite thing about the Skylight and what makes it totally worth it to me, which I'll show you in a second. There are rewards. You can set different rewards for different amounts of stars. You can assign stars to different tasks and chores and routines and things like that. And then when they check them off, you can assign rewards, and then you can also go in and add stars or take away stars if needed. I paid this is part of the yearly subscription to have your meal plan in here. So you can assign different meals. You can have them come up with meals. You can send recipes, either take pictures or send the link and it'll import it. You can make grocery lists on here. They're constantly updating this and making it better. Like I said, you can have photos up here. So far we have almost 300 photos and 2 videos. And then there also are lists. We haven't been super great about utilizing that. I'm sure we will over time, but that is the Skylight in a nutshell. So I'm gonna walk you through each thing and how we use it. So for the calendar, I am a paper planner. I use my planner for just about everything, but that doesn't work well in a marriage when the other person doesn't always check that or doesn't always have their planner with them. My husband's just never been great about planning in general. So we do sit down and have him write stuff in his planner every week that he looks at in the mornings. But when he's away from the house, like making a schedule and things like that, it's nice for him to be able to see it all. And so I add just like extracurriculars, appointments, just different things I would have on my monthly calendar in my planner, I add to this. And then another thing we added, we've been doing this for a few months. So every month we have 3 daughters, ages 5, almost 8, and then 10. And then we have a little baby. So he's not part of this quite yet. But I went to a homeschool retreat and there was a mom of 10 who talked about how she assigns each child like a room and that is their main duty for however long she does it. And so I ended up, after getting really stressed out about the whole family helping clean up after supper, I would just do it myself, or my husband would just do it himself, because it would become very chaotic and stressful at the end of the day. So I was like, I just want one helper in the kitchen. And then I thought, you know, and we need a bathroom helper. We need to teach our kids how to do the bathrooms. And then we'll have a living room and playroom helper. So after supper, most nights, we will have them do their jobs. And so the bathroom person, once a week will help my husband. He usually cleans the bathroom. So they'll go through, it moved, but they'll go through and they will clean the mirror, the sink, help clean one of the showers/tubs, and they will help clean the toilets. And then on a daily basis, they'll go up and just wipe down the sinks and then spot check the toilet. And if there's toilet paper on the ground or toys or what have you, they'll clean that up every day. The kitchen helper helps clean up the dishes, scrub dishes, fill up the dishwasher, quick vacuum the floors. We have a little vacuum sweeper thing, and then clean all the surfaces. And I help with that, or my husband, whoever makes supper, the other one of us does the cleanup so that we help them. And then as our 2 younger daughters, you know, our other daughters are learning the other jobs, whoever's not helping the kitchen person will go help clean up the other areas with the other 2 if my husband's home or if I'm home. And then the living room and playroom person will go into the living room, put the couch back together, put the pillows on the couch, clean up any toys, clean up any stickers or band-aids that fell, because that's a thing, and also for the playroom. And so those are our 3 main areas. I'm sure we'll do this, add more over time, but that's how we have it right now. And so those rotate every month. So I just went through, and it looks chaotic, but it works for us. You can also view this on a weekly or daily basis. So like you could see the whole week or just the day. Like for example, here's today. So we could just leave it at that. So pink is my daughter, Gwen. So she's on bathroom duty for this whole month. Then it's Celia, my oldest, on kitchen duty, and my middle daughter, Bryony, on living room and playroom duty. And that just rotates for the month. So I just have that set up as a whole month-long task, and then anything else gets added. And then it also adds our meal plan here as well. So that's in a nutshell how we use the calendar. You can add and make it your own and work however it works for you. Now for my favorite part. So I'm going to check all these so you guys can see all of them. So the way we have it set up, each of our daughters who are old enough to use this, our baby is only 7 months, so he's not quite ready yet. They are color-coded, and they each have morning, routines, afternoon routines, evening routines, and chores. I don't use the chores a whole lot because they'll show up as late if you don't do it that day, and they're a little trickier. I mainly just use routines and put them at the time of day we're doing it. So I'm just gonna walk you guys through, and maybe I'll do a blank day so you can just see it blank. Okay, so for my girls, this is how I have it. So it goes, I wish I could put these in order of age. If you add some spaces to their names or put 1, 2, 3, it would be in the right order. So it should go Celia, Bryony, Gwen by age. So there's some things she has that the others don't have, and so forth. So for my 2 younger daughters, I am still working on training them to stay in bed till 6:30. They often wake up earlier and want to come out. They're mainly good at that, but because my oldest, she's well able to do that, I didn't put this on hers. But for my 7-year-old, stay in bed till 6:30, she gets 1 star. My younger daughter, who has a little harder time, she gets 2 stars if she does that. So in the morning, they would come down and just check that, and it moves down to the next thing. Okay, then all 3 of them, if one of them helps make breakfast, which I've been having, we have a whole line leader system that's not part of the Skylight, so whoever's line leader for the day gets to help with all the meals. So if they do help, they can check that off, and they each get 2 stars for that. Brushing their teeth, we don't earn stars for, and getting dressed, because that's just part of being human. And eventually they won't earn stars for all of these things, but since it's still new and it's very motivating to them, why not? And then I have make lunch in the morning because we do that before noon, and so the afternoon things are all tied to screen time, so I'll explain that in a second. But if they help make lunch, they can also check that off. But I'm just gonna uncheck these because we haven't actually done all that stuff. So that's how we use the morning. Then if you go down to afternoon, hers is in the wrong order. I'm gonna have to fix that, but I put spaces in front of a lot of these. The more spaces you have, the higher up it ends up going, because I wanted these in a certain order. And for she still naps sometimes and has quiet time in her room. These 2 are working on doing quiet time, but they also have some other things they have to do, homeschool related, before screen time. So from about 12:30 to 2 is quiet time, and then from 2 to 3 they can have screen time, where they do half the time they are doing an educational game, and the other half of the time they are playing games or watching TV. So they get an hour of screen time. And so I have certain things that they do on their own before they get screen time. So they have to read for 20 minutes. So if they do that, they get 1 star. They have to practice piano, 1 star. They have to empty this bin on the stairs that's full of randomness that I end up putting in there, that's from anywhere around the house that needs to go back up to their rooms. So they get 1 star for the stairs bin. They need to have their room tidy. And then if they are quiet during nap, not only do they get screen time, because I'll take that away if they aren't, but they also get 2 stars, because I'm trying to do more positive reinforcement than negative. So that's there. And all of those things need to be completed before they can have screen time at 2. So they can have screen time at 2 if all those are completed. If they aren't completed yet, then they have to complete them before they can start screen time. This has just worked really well for us. My 5-year-old, who's mainly outgrowing naps, but there's every few days she still needs one, so I definitely reward her. If she does take a nap, she gets extra stars for that. Okay, and then for this got put in the wrong spot, but before snack time, which is around 3, they help empty the dishwasher or make snack. And I usually just do the line leader helps with that. So if they do that, they get a star. And then I also added laundry on here because we start laundry in the morning, throw it in the dryer sometime in the morning, and then it's their job to put it away. And so if they do that, it's 3 stars, because that's a pretty big job, especially for my 7-year-old who's, you know, it's a big job. She's a little kid. And so hanging it all up and getting it all on the hangers is hard. And my 5-year-old, I'll do the hangers, but she does everything else. And then my oldest does it completely on her own, washing, drying, folding, all of that. So 3 stars seems like a good amount. Okay. Then in the evening, the only main things they have are their daily job, like I shared in the calendar, which is if they do their job in the kitchen, bathroom, or living room, playroom, they get 2 stars, since we're still in the making this a habit, you know, right now. Brushing teeth, no stars. And then my youngest daughter is still really struggling with picky eating, and so getting her to even try foods is a challenge. So trying to reward her for that as well, which I'm sure people have their own thoughts, but I don't know why eating is such a hard thing in our family, but it is. So I have that on here. Now for chores, like you can make all these things chores, but I really like having it set up, especially since we're home all day, by morning, afternoon, and evening. And then I don't get any kind of alert that it is a late chore, because if you make chores and they don't do it on a certain day that you have assigned, it will say it's late, and I just kind of hate that. So instead, I just set up chores that come up every day, so it's never showing that it's late, because it comes up again the next day. So what I have here, I have this up for grabs column over here, and these are just random chores, and I'm sure I'll add more over time. But if they do them, they can check off either the up for grabs chore 5 stars if it's a 5-star chore, or 10 stars. So they don't check it off over here because they wouldn't get points for that, even though it looks like somebody did, which is silly. They would get points on their own. And so I have clean mirrors, help make supper, pick up sticks, garbage, toys outside. I may take the help with supper and just make that a 2-star. Anyway, I haven't gone in here for a while and really checked on everything. Pick up sticks, garbage, or toys outside in the whole yard. Tidy really well an entire room. Vacuum one level, vacuum van. And I'm sure I'll add more. But also, what I do often is if there's some kind of random chore that comes up, I will just tell them, go check off random chore 1 star, or random chore 2 star, or up for grabs 5, or up for grabs 10. And so they'll just come check that off. And I can go in and make sure they did it before accepting their points or whatever. So for my 2 older daughters, I also put scoop cat poop, because they'll often help with that. That's normally my husband's job, but they'll help with that a lot, and taking out the garbages. And so I just put it here to make it easy. So that is how we use the tasks. You can add, I used to have my husband and I on here, but we ended up not really paying attention to that. So I've really loved it for our kids. Works really well that there's spot for 4 of them if you have 4 kids, but if you have more or fewer, it's fine. So that's how we use that. And so the points. Now my oldest does the most and gets the most points because she's older. And instead of going in and making every type of chore a different amount of points, I end up just changing the reward amounts. So as you'll see, my youngest daughter, this probably should be lower, but a lot of these, especially the higher ticket items, she needs fewer points to earn them. I need to probably go through and fix this because I thought I had fixed it, but I didn't. So I guess starting with, if you look here, this is their favorite thing, and really the only thing they ever really pick for their prizes. So Toca Boca is their favorite game that they play, and it's basically just them like designing houses and pretending with little people. And so they are always wanting to buy extras for the game, but I never want to pay for that. And I don't want them spending all their own money on it. And so what they usually do is cash in their stars for a Toca Boca pack. I have $5, $10, $15 on here. So for example, my youngest daughter, she only needs 50 stars to get the $5 pack. My middle daughter needs 75, and my oldest daughter needs 125. And the way I figure this is they usually are earning it all around the same time if they're all doing what they need to do. And so I can always adjust that, but that's how I do it. So as they get older, I can make it worth more points or more stars to get all of these things. But for now, but doing it this way really helps. Then you don't have to go through and adjust every single task for different amounts of stars. You just change the different reward amounts. And so what I have on here, they can earn a piece of candy, dessert after supper, extra screen time. We just call it Kindle time even if they're watching TV. Stay up an extra 5 minutes, We have a prize bin we used to have as our like reward system, so they can pick a prize out of there. Choose supper, play a game by themselves with a parent, go on a solo walk with a parent, toka boka $5, sleep in parents' bed at night. Obviously, if they're like sick or hurt, they don't have to use stars for that, but if they just want to, because my husband, it's usually they sleep with me, and my husband ends up sleeping on the couch because our bed just isn't big enough. Art for kids, coloring book, like my middle daughter specifically asked for that, and I said, I'll add it to your prizes. And so she can work to earn that. Buy a new book, go out for ice cream, buy a slime kit, make a dessert that they pick, buy a new toy, $10 or less, toka boka $10, toka boka $15, toka boka $20. So they can really save up for those if they're wanting. So those are the prizes. Now for meals, I've really loved this. So I'm, like I said, a paper planner, but I've really loved using the Skylight. My kids know what's for supper and breakfast, lunch. I don't do a lot for snack. We just kind of grab whatever. But what I really love is that I can send screenshots. Like if I have a magazine or a cookbook or whatever, I could take a picture and send it to Sidekick, which is in the app, and it will import the recipe into here. Or if I have a website, I can just copy and paste the link into Sidekick and it'll send it here. So for example, like crockpot chicken fajitas, I found online and I just sent it to it, and now it's all right here. You can even tell the Skylight to add all these things to your grocery list. I haven't found that super helpful. I like to have a paper copy of that, but that is something you can do if you're wanting, and especially if you're shopping for groceries in the store. We normally do Walmart pickup or delivery, but if you're in the store, that can be really nice because it's just on your phone. And then otherwise you can just like put in smoothie and popcorn and it won't have a recipe, but you can if you want. And then like I have you choose and things. You can add multiple items to this if you're having side dishes, and it's just really handy. I've absolutely loved this. That way whoever's making supper, like we just pull it up on our phone normally and cook off of there. We've really been loving that, and I love that my kids can see what's for supper, so they don't, if they ask me, I say go look at the Skylight. So that's been really great. And then photos, like I said, are on here. And then lists, you can obviously use however you want. Like I was going to start keeping business stuff on here and stuff for my husband, but we just found we aren't really using that, but maybe eventually we will. Here's the grocery list. I don't use it anymore, so this is just all random stuff, but you definitely can. And if you tell it to add it to grocery list, it'll just add it right here. But we have absolutely loved this. I'm just gonna quickly show you guys the app. Okay, this is what the app looks like. I'm covering up our last name, but you can click here to see the calendar, just like I did. Like it shows all of those duties that they have. It looks like this, so you can toggle between kid. I usually use this when I'm putting all of the tasks in. It's a lot easier to do, in my opinion, on the phone than it is on the actual Skylight. Photos are on here, so you just pick and send them to your phone. Meals are all on here. I do all my meal planning from my phone and add it. You can go to your recipe box, and there's all your recipes. You can add one. So like, this is where you can paste a URL if you want. You can look online. You can look up like Swedish meatballs. And then find a recipe that way. Very convenient. So if you get like an invitation, a paper invitation, you can take a picture of it and import it here, and it'll add it to your calendar. You can have it plan meals. You can import PDFs, emails, photos, import a list. Like if you have a grocery list, I could just take a picture of that. I probably can't read my handwriting, but I could import a recipe. Like this is so cool and saves a lot of time. And then the rewards are here as well, so you can edit and you can go in and you can give stars or take away stars. You just make it a negative number if you want to take it away. So that's how you do that. I hope you enjoyed this look at our Skylight calendar. If you have one, I would love to know some ways that you use it, and if you use it differently, I'd love to know that as well. I'm always looking for new ideas. They are constantly changing things, adding things, updating things, so make sure you join their Facebook group. I will link it below because they're constantly in there reading and adding things, and just you can really be part of them making this even better, which I think is so cool. And I plan to use this long term. It has worked so well, and as our kids get even older and more independent, I just think it'll work even better. But my 3 daughters, ages 5, almost 8, and 10, have all adapted really well, and my little boy, as he gets older, will do the same. So thank you so much for watching. Happy homeschooling. I'll see you soon. Bye.